Hello and welcome to this video based all around Magpie Beauty's builder gel called Build It. So we're going to show you today a quick application on how to get the perfect application with our builder gel. Build It comes in two different forms. You can see here we've got a bottled form and a potted form. That's just for preference, so the same formula, everything's exactly the same. They do come in all different shades. It's just preference whether you prefer a pot or a bottle. In the bottle it does come with your own brush already included inside. It's a nice long slim brush to help with any shape nail, even the little fingers, which is perfect. And then for your potted form, obviously comes inside the pot, and then you can use alongside any of your favourite gel brushes. So for me today, I'm going to use the Magpie Beauty Arty brush, which is in the size 6, so the gel brush size 6, and it's a really nice long slim gel brush. You can see quite slim and skinny to get a good application with our builder gel. So we're going to show you today all the different base coats, the different ways of applying this Build It, and how to apply it onto a builder gel overlay. Now technically this is a baseless product, so this doesn't need a base coat to it because it already has good adhesion qualities to it. But if in case like your clients do have problems with adhesion, maybe they struggle with lifting, maybe they struggle with different times of the year, their nails drying out, and potentially sometimes you might choose to use a base coat just to help with better adhesion. We do have 3 of our main options of base coats, which I will link in a chart at the top of the screen for you to see, but I'll talk you through them as well. So the first base coat I wanted to introduce you to is Get a Grip Clear. So this is our standard all-round great base coat for pretty much majority of your clients. It's HEMA free and it's got a great flexibility to it, and it comes in clear and a range of different shades as well. When I'm using a base coat for builder gel or for aqua gel or for hard gel, I tend to always stick to the clear form just because clear is your strongest form of any product, so it has a higher adhesive compared to the cover shades. It's got a great thickness to it, so it's not super thick, but it's also not super thin, so it's going to smooth out any kind of ridges, any lumps and bumps on your client's natural nails. And it can also be used for your standard gel manicures, but also as a base underneath our products as well. So you can see, got a nice consistency to it and nice and flexible for your clients' natural nails. Now the next base coat I wanted to introduce you to is called Give Me Strength Plus. So this is kind of our strongest base coat. It can be applied nice and thin, so it doesn't need to be applied very thick. You can also build structure into this if you want to have like just a strengthening gel manicure, but it's not as flexible as Get a Grip, so it just depends on your client's needs and what their clients' nails are like. So with Give Me Strength Plus, it also does come in clear and it comes in a range of cover shades as well. It's a great thickness to it as well. It's not super thick, not super thin, but it's best to apply this product on the thinner side, and you can apply it to all the nails at a time and then cure, but we also do recommend if you do apply it slightly on the thicker side to kind of flash cure every few nails just to help, especially if you do add the structure in with it. But this can also be used as a base to our aqua gel, to our builder gels, and also to our hard gels. So that one is our Give Me Strength Plus, also HEMA free, so great for those clients that are hypoallergenic and need HEMA free products. With our third base coat, this one is called Rubber Up. So this is our highest adhesive base coat. It's mainly used for just those few clients that really struggle with adhesion. So it's not for everyone. This is just for your the clients that really do struggle with losing a lot of nails. This is our thickest base coat. It's got a good thickness to it, and it does have a small percentage of HEMA in it. So a very safe level, but a small percentage. So it's best not to use on clients that do obviously have problems with HEMA. It's good to get your clients checked to see, but there's nothing obviously wrong with HEMA in general because it's great for adhesion, but just check their allergens. So this is Rubber Up. It does just come in clear, and the same thing, we can build it up in layers if we need to with a bit of structure, and it's quite a thick base coat, so it means you can apply it nice and smooth over the natural nails, and we can use this as a base to our builder gel as well. So we can use any base. Today I'm going to show you how to apply the product onto the nails and to use it with a base and without a base. So I've already got prepped nails here. I've just given them a little file round, a little shape, and I'm going to go straight in with my solution, which is called Prep and Dehydrate. So it's our prep solution with a lint-free wipe. So when you're using HEMA-free products, it is a slightly different application method and prep method for your natural nails, because they're not going to have as high adhesive as HEMA products do. So you need to do a proper prep work on your client's nails. So obviously do the normal work, push the cuticles back, trim the cuticles. Then you would always file over with a 240 grit sanding band if you were using an e-file, or a 240 grit normal hand file. Making sure to get in all the corners, and then afterwards we give a good scrub with a lint-free wipe. So with our lint-free wipe as well, I'm only doing 2 nails today for you, but you want to make sure you're not using the same area on the wipe every time. So for example, if I was doing both hands, on this wipe I would do, for example, little finger, ring finger, middle, first and thumb to space it out on that wipe. And then on the client's second hand, I would use a separate wipe, so a new wipe for that second hand, just because that dirt and debris is going to get spread around those nails, especially if they've got oils on their nails. It's going to spread around and cause those nails nearer the end of the surface to lift. So say, for example, you started on this nail and worked your way across. By the time you got to the end of this hand, you're probably just scrubbing dirt and debris back into those nails rather than giving them a good clean. If you notice your wipe is very dirty, same thing, just replace it as soon as you notice that. So even if you're only 2 or 3 nails in, just replace that wipe. And you'll notice that the more you scrub with this wipe, it will get slightly thinner as well with lint-free wipes. So if you find that, just replace it. So we're going to get a bit of our prep solution, give a little spray onto our wipe. And I'm going to use 2 different areas. And when we're doing this, we can push back the cuticles because obviously we've removed all of that dead cuticle. And we're going to give a good wipe underneath, because underneath here, sometimes you get quite a lot of dirt and you just want to make sure that's all nice and cleaned. Give a good scrub all over. And for about 5 to 10 seconds, you want to work this over the nail. My nails have been a bit battered recently, so it'll be good for them to get a little redo. So we're going to give them a good scrub over. And then most importantly as well, under that free edge. So that free edge can get really dirty. Give it a good wipe underneath, ready for our base coat. So you can see there we've got a little bit of thinning of the wipe, slightly bit dirty, and then ready for our next nail. So push the cuticles back and then give a good scrub over for about 5 to 10 seconds, making sure I use both fingers just to get a good cover area on that nail, and then also along that free edge. And then they would be ready to go in with my builder gel, or also in with a base coat if needed. So I'm going to apply base coat on one and just go straight in with builder on the other. So probably my most recommended base coat that I like to use a lot is Give Me Strength Plus. As I said before, I do tend to use the clear version, but just so you can see what I am applying today and to see it on the nail a little bit better, I'm going to use one of their cover shades, which is called Naked Truth. If I just wanted to do a gel manicure, then yeah, I would go in with the cover shades, just if I was doing a French manicure, or if I was doing a neutral kind of tone on the nail where they wanted a neutral cover shade. But if I was putting a colour on, like for a red or a navy, any of the full coverage colours, or say for example I'm going in with my builder gel, always stick to clear as much as possible. But just to show you how to apply this product, just because you'll see it a little bit better, I'm going to swirl off that product to get it out, and I'm going to pick up a small bead at the end of my brush. And then I'm going to apply it on just this one nail, and then I'll do this one with just purely builder gel. So we don't need a thick coat with our base coat. And we're going to go all over. If you need a tiny bit more, you can just grab up a small amount more in your bottle. And depending how you stand, like normally apply your base coat, very similar, doesn't need to be applied too thick. Some people like to use like a little liner brush to go around the cuticle area to get a bit closer. But this brush has got a nice flat, perfectly flat edge, so it makes it a lot easier for us to not have a little bit of overspill on the sides. and then cap your free edge with the product. Now, if you do tend to foul, the choice is yours whether you choose to finish foul with your builder gel. If you do, you don't tend to need to cap the free edge if you're going to finish foul, but there's nothing wrong with doing that as well. That will be a cure for 60 seconds into the lamp. Now, once we've done our base coat and cured it, if you choose to do a base coat, we can then go in with our builder gel. So your choice whether you use the bottled form or the potted form. I'm going to use one of each just so that you can see both being applied. Now, this one's called Babe, a really beautiful kind of pinky, slightly undertone of peach to it, but beautiful builder gel colour. So all I'm going to do is swirl the excess off, and then with the product that's running down the neck of the bottle, I will scoop up a small amount to go on this now. Now, depending on what you're doing, sometimes you can apply one coat of builder gel, sometimes you need to apply two. Usually if the nails are quite short, for example, an overlay and quite short, you can get away with one coat. If you're doing an infill, usually one coat's absolutely fine. But if you're completely soaking off or you're starting a new set, if they're quite long, potentially 2 coats is needed, depending on the client's nails. So on my nails, I'm just going to do 1 coat for now, but I'm going to build structure into it. So I always place a slip layer onto my nail first, and we're not going to cure the slip layer because this is going to act really nicely as a coat for our structure to be built into. Doesn't need to be super thick, just a nice slip layer over that nail. So we're not going to cure that yet. And then we go in with a slightly bigger bead of our product to act as our apex or structure if the nails need it. So I'm going to grab a slightly bigger bead, about that much to start with. If you feel like you need a bit more, you can always add afterwards. And in that structure zone, I'm going to bounce this product off so that it's mainly in that center where the structure needs to be. And you can just bounce it off really lightly. When you're using builder gel, everything's about light touches. You don't want to press down really hard. You want to do nice light touches in your motion. Now, there's probably 2 main ways that people apply structure. You can either blend it down the center and then smooth out your sides, or some people do what I would call like the swishing from side to side method. So on this one, I'm going to show you the swishing from side to side. So once you bounced it off, you can bring it up the side, and then you just very gently pull it down. And as you go over the center, you're raising the brush slightly higher to help with that structure to be down the backbone of the center of the nail. So bring it around and then bring that side up to be nice and thin, bringing it over. And you're always working with the brush kind of behind the product. So you're not working this side of it, you're working coming down the nail. If you get to that stage and you need a little bit more, nothing wrong with grabbing a tiny bit more on your brush. And I would just bounce it off again in the center and start the motion again. So coming down the side, blend it across until we get towards the free edge. And we want to make sure the sides are kept nice and thin, slight bit of thickness to them, but not super thin and not super thick, but you don't want them as thick as your center on the nail. So then with our striper brush, whatever striper brush you fancy using, I'm using the Arty Brush Detailer size 9, and I'm going to dip that in a tiny bit of the builder gel first, just to act as a slip layer onto our brush. And then using the line of light around me, so depending on whether you've got an oval lamp, a straight lamp, I've got one of each at the moment just because of filming, so it might be a little bit funny, but you can see when you move them, you can kind of see the lighting in different areas. So I'm going to use this brush slightly off center, just very gently smoothing down those sides and down this side. If you struggle to get your structure in the correct place, you can tip the nail upside down for like 5 to 10 seconds. But what can also happen as well is sometimes you get a little bit of a structure build up here, in which case you can very gently use your liner brush to smooth it back. But if you find that you're going to end up causing more problems when you go backwards, then just leave it, cure it, and you can file it gently off when you refine. And once you're happy with it, you can pop it into the lamp to cure for 60 seconds, or you can use the 90-second low heat mode. And then for the second nail, I'm going to use the potted version. So this shade is called My Love. Same thing, really beautiful. We'll show you side by side the comparison. If you want to build up the colours, there's nothing wrong with going over with another layer over the top. That can also work as well. And over this one, I'm going to go over with 2 layers. I'm going to do one standard coat first, cure that, and then go in with my structure layer next, just in case you wanted to see how this was done on a longer nail or on maybe a nail that needed a little bit more strength. So with my gel brush, I'm going to pick up a small amount first. Now on this one, we haven't got a base coat, so I'm going to work my base layer in a little bit more with my builder to give it a good working into that nail. It's our first coat, so it doesn't need to be super thick. We can build that up with our structure bead next. Still get nice and close to those cuticle areas and sidewalls. And then we can cure that for 60 seconds. Now for the second layer, we're going to do our slip layer first. So we're going to just work a thin layer into that nail. We don't need a huge amount of builder. And for this nail, I'm going to show you the different method of working your way through the middle rather than doing the swooshing method. So I'm going to pick up a bead of product. Same thing, we're going to start off in the same exact way by bouncing off the product in that structure zone. And if you struggle to get product running into the cuticle, say for example, your fingers were slightly upright, that product is going to run into the cuticle zone. So you can always have the nail kind of pointing downwards slightly so that it's not causing an issue with the cuticle zone, but just make sure it's not pointed down for too long, otherwise the apex will drop nearer the free edge. But once it's bounced off, we can then float. So this is where, if you are a bit more heavy-handed, this method probably isn't as good for you, but float it towards the free edge. So you can bounce it off the product and give a little swirl to guarantee it's in the exact place. And then you very gently float it through the middle. And this is where you kind of get like a bit of a teardrop shape on the nail. So once we've done that, we then grab our striper brush again. And just got a little air bubble there that I'm just going to pop. Dip it into our product to act as a slip layer onto our brush. And same method, but this time we're going to start slightly off center. So we don't want to go right through the structure area in the center because we don't want to take that out. But slightly off center, I'm going to start slightly diagonally and then work out to be more straight down the side. So here I will start brushing roughly around there and bring it a bit more through the center. And then I kind of fan it out towards the sidewall. So very light touches with your striper brush, diagonally, and then fan it down the sides. So you can see there that this side's a lot more smoothed out compared to this side. Same thing this side, slightly diagonally towards the center, and then fan it out down towards this side. And you can go over it again if you think it's needing a bit more smoothing, or the same thing as before, you can tip it upside down if you need to smooth it out. But always check your free edge just to make sure there's no bulk on that free edge to cause it to be uneven, which it does tend to happen because when you're brushing down, it's going to congregate along that free edge. And you can place it upside down for 5 to 10 seconds and then cure it into the lamp. Same thing, 60 seconds or the 90-second low heat mode. So once they're cured, if you are happy with them, you can go straight in with your gel colour, straight in with your French, whatever you're doing. If you need a little bit of refining, all you do is use that prep solution again on a lint-free wipe. Give that tacky surface a nice little wipe off. Don't scrub it in because obviously this is still technically uncured gel and you don't want that going into the surrounding skin. So use a new lint-free wipe and different areas on your wipe to wipe off that tacky surface. And then we can use whatever file you'd normally use or a sanding band to refine. In this case, I'm just going to use a 240 grit hand file and give a little reshape. and then just give a gentle refine. So when I'm refining, I just like to go up the sides very lightly. I don't really like using anything more than a 240, around the cuticle zone, avoiding the structure zone down the centre where we've built it up. Unless there's loads of lumps there, then obviously give it a little buff, but ideally I do like a U shape around the nail to make sure all those zones are nice and even. If you notice there was a little dip, that's where you can fill it in with a bit more builder. And then say, for example, you hadn't smoothed out that free edge where a little bit of product built up, you could just very gently file along that free edge. And then for the middle section, I don't tend to go over with my file, I just tend to go over with a really light buffer, just so that it helps to matte it and to smooth it out for our next product. So whether that's French, colour, even just a top coat. So I'll show you today with just a top coat, and I'm going to show you a few of our ranges. We've got two main top coats that we tend to use. One's called Like a Diamond, which is our tacky top coat. It's got an inhibition layer and you have to cleanse it off afterwards. And then we've got Top It Off, which is our no wipe top coat. So let me just buff that. We're then going to use a new lint-free wipe. I like to get rid of the dust using some prep, just so it gets in all the cuticle area. And you can see there our finished Builder Gel application. So top coat wise, we have two different styles of top coat. We also have matte top coats as well, but these are our main shiny ones. One's called Top It Off, the other one's called Like a Diamond. Top It Off is a no wipe, Like a Diamond is a cleansing top coat. They come in a variety of different like finishing touches as well. Both come in clear, like a standard clear, and then we have like shimmer ranges, colour ranges, like different ones with pinks through them, golds through them. We also have like a cat eye effect one, so I'm going to use these two today to show you both the methods. No matter the effect, the actual finishing touch looks exactly the same and is the same steps. So this is Like a Diamond, so it's a beautiful top coat. We have to remember that our top coats need to only be nice and thin. We don't need to apply thickness with our top coats. So wipe off the excess and pick up a small bead of product. So go over it nice and smooth. And nice and thin with our top coat. And cap the free edge. We want to make sure our free edge is now nice and shiny after filing it. If you need to, it should be nice and smooth, but if you struggle to get a smooth top coat, same thing, you can tip your nail upside down just for 5 to 10 seconds to help it to smooth out. And I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds into the lamp. So now that's cured, we're going to cleanse that off in a second to get rid of that inhibition layer. But while we're waiting for that to cool down, because if your nail's quite warm and you put cleanser on it, the liquids tend to be on the colder side and they tend to dull slightly with your top coat. So leave it to cool for 30 to 60 seconds and then we can cleanse. In the meantime, I'm going to use Top It Off for my other nail. So the same thing, swirl off the excess, wipe it off and then pick up a small bead. This is the cat eye effect one, so I'll show you this one. This is lovely over any of our Builder Gels. And we're going to paint this on all over. You can leave it as it is for a nice silvery, glittery finish, or you can activate it with your magnet. So all over the nail, cap the free edge. And then with your magnet, you can activate it if you choose to. So you can see there, we get that really pretty cat eye effect. So I'm going to cure that as well for 60 seconds into the lamp. So now that's out of the lamp on both of our top coats. You can see we've got our one that's Like a Diamond, so this one needs cleansing in a second. So we're still going to let that cool down slightly. This one's our no wipe top coat, so we can go straight in afterwards with our cuticle oil. But the same thing, leave it to cool for about 30 to 60 seconds before you apply oil to it. This one's now called, so on our solution we got our prep solution, which is used for all of our prepping part of the nails and for wiping off inhibition layer, anything before the base coat. But after base coat we use our cleanser instead because it has shining help to it to help shine up these nails. So we'll pop our cleanser onto the wipe, and then same thing, wipe it off in one swoop so that you're not scrubbing that inhibition layer into the nail, and then also along the free edge. And then we can go in with any of your favourite choices of cuticle oil. So in this case, I've got an English rose one. So I'm going to pop a small drop onto both of those and work that into the surrounding skin. And you can see there our finished results with our Build It Builder Gel. So you can use it in the potted form, the bottled form, whichever your favourite is for that finished look. On one of them we used a base coat, which was our Give Me Strength Plus. The other one we've used without a base coat, and we did 2 layers with that one. So both ways work perfectly well, and you can trial it on your clients, see whether a base coat works well with them, or to see if it works well baseless. Majority of clients will suit baseless, but for the clients that need that little bit of extra adhesion, apply a base coat to them. But thank you for watching this video on how to apply our Build It Builder Gel by Magpie Beauty.